So, when we're talking about the BetterPress, it is a new product that is offered by Spellbinders. We do sell them here at Pelletier Craft Studio. It One of the things that I love about Spellbinders is every single product that you buy from them, they're going to make sure that you can take it out of the box and use it. And this one is no exception. So with the BetterPress, you're going to go ahead and get your little sticky stuff because you're going to need that to stick your paper down. You're going to get an ink. Now, BetterPress, or Spellbinders recommends that you use BetterPress ink. I'm going to go into much more detail on that. You're going to get a plate that you can go ahead and make projects with right away. And you're also going to be getting cardstock. Now, I haven't got all of the cardstock laying out here because I wanted to be specific about what kind of cardstock I'm going to be using and to show you a few demonstrations on exactly what that cardstock can and can't do for you. Also, when you open up your kit, you're going to be receiving the, here's the rest of the pieces. Ha, I knew they were out here somewhere. So here's the 4 that you'll be getting on the inside of your kit that you're getting from me. Now, I just adore that one. But you're also going to be getting the Tim Holtz watercolor pencils. This is set number 2. So we are offering set number 1 and 3 if you want to add that to your collections. But we liked set number 2 for the Christmas holidays, and this just happens to be a kit that we're doing in the month of December. We also thought that even though you got a watercolor brush when you got your watercolor palette, we thought it might be nice if you go ahead and get you another one. We know how much we're using these, and so we thought we'd go ahead and make sure that you got a new one. So those are the items that you're going to be getting on the inside of your kit. Now, as I said, the BetterPress machine is not mandatory to do the class, but if we're going to do a class, we might as well teach you a little bit about what the BetterPress is all about. All right, so I like to rank products based on what the company tells me about them and what my own experience is. So I saw this person do a ranking among some of the machineries that she was using, and she used the acronym STAMP. S stands for storage, T stands for tool integration, A stands for affordability, M stands for multi-purpose, and P stands for the performance of the machine. So I thought, okay, that's a good way to do it. So I think that's how we'll handle it. So let's first talk about the storage of this machine. Now, the machine is super, super easy to store. As you can see, well, mine's a little bit dirty. It's been used a lot. But the machine is super easy to store. It's not very thick. You can put it in just about any place. I have even found that I can store mine in one of my little bitty thin drawers that's on my Stampin' Storage little files. So it's easy to store the machine. The machine is also pretty durable. It's not really heavy, though it does have a magnet inside of it. So that magnet does make it a little bit heavier than it might be otherwise, okay? So some other things to tell you about this is that when you get it, it does have a plate with it, and this plate has 4 magnets on it, one on each corner. And the magnets pieces here are stable, so you're not going to have to ever worry about losing magnets. I like that when I'm getting ready to store it, I know that it's not going to give me an issue as far as storing goes. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the rest of the storage, okay? So, as with your die cut machine, you're going to need special plates to use with your BetterPress. So, let's talk about those. These plates, of course, they're going to need more than one, so you're going to probably have more than one hanging around, but they store just as easily as any of your die cut plates. They also store just as easy as any of your hot foil plates, and we're going to discuss the hot foil plates in just a moment. So storage for this is not any different than storing any other products that you have. So if I were going to be rating the storability for this on a scale of 1 to 5, I'm going to make it a 4 out of 5. And the only place that I am bucking it on is the fact that the plates are a little bit different and you do have to store them, but you have to store them just like you do any other ones. So I'm not sure knocking that 1 point off is really feasible. When we talk about integration of the system, integration to me means that I can use the tool in more than one way. So for the integration system, I do find that it is compatible with just about every die cut machine there is. So you do have to have a die cut machine to use with this one, just like you do for your hot foil plate. One thing to know about this though is that the Anna Griffith Input, the Gemini, and the Cuttlebug, that's the only three companies that it's not compatible with. All of the others that have a 6-inch wide, you can use it. That includes your electric things like your Vagabond and those kind of things. It's completely compatible with all of those. The other thing to let you know is that Spellbinder says, hey, you got to use our paper. You know, we're using all cotton paper, and you got to use all cotton paper. I'm going to tell you that that's not necessarily true, and I'm going to show you a demonstration in just a few minutes on how you can use just about any paper for this. I only found that the quality of using an 85-pound cardstock is a little bit less than what it is for all of the others, but all in all, you get a pretty good impression with just about everything. My absolute favorite is watercolor paper, and I know that sounds crazy, but watercolor paper has that thickness that I love, and so I get a great impression when I am using my letterpress. Inks, Spellbinder says, hey, you got to use my inks, nah. What I have learned about this is a stamp just like every other stamp that you use in your craft room. If you want it to do it with watercolors, you want to play with it you want to color it in with your watercolor markers and this kind of thing, yes, you have got to have a permanent ink. But you can use StazOn. You can use any kind of permanent ink that there is out there. You can even use other colored permanent inks. So do you absolutely have to use the BetterPress inks? No, but they do have some really pretty colors in it. And I can use these inks on anything that I would be normally using for watercolors. So if I wanted to stamp something that I'm going to be watercoloring, I can use the BetterPress ink. So it's not a bad buy, and it's not an impossibility to use. So let's talk about the plates. So what they are telling me is that you absolutely have to use the BetterPress plates with the BetterPress machine. I did not find that to necessarily be true. I did learn from Spellbinders that if you use your hot foil plates on this machine, you do run the risk of messing up the base of your machine. That's because your hot foil plates are so heavy. But there's a good side to this too. I can take this plate, put it on my hot foil machine, and now I can hot foil this impression. So what am I saying? I'm saying that I will buy these plates whether I have a BetterPress machine or not. I would buy these plates to use on my hot foils, and buddy, I'm going to be one happy camper. So that's some of the things that you need to know. These plates can be used on your hot foil machine, but your hot foil machines cannot be used on these BetterPress plates, and that's because they're so thick that when you run them through your machine, it's going to run through smooth, but eventually you're going to mess up your plates here. While I'm talking about the plates and we're talking about the tools and how integratable it is, I want to let you know that it does come with 3 shims. Now, well, it is 3. There it is. All right, so it comes with 3 shims. So Spellbinder says use the shims based on the machine that you have. Now, I have said this since day one that it doesn't matter what kind of embossing machine you have. Every one of them are different, okay? What do I know? You can use these shims if you need them for your hot foil plate. You can use them for your die cut plates. These shims can be used anywhere. So once again, I give that a plus when it comes to using the machine and the items that come with the machines on other products. So for me, I would use it. As far as the tool integration, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5 because there's absolutely no part of this process that can't be used on another process that I'll be using on the inside of my craft room. Love it. Love the way that it is so easy to use. Now, my next letter is A, and I said that A was affordability. When you look at the BetterPress machine itself, the BetterPress machine at this time is $79.99. Now, because I know this class is going to be going on for a long time, I'm going to tell you that you need to check my site and see if they're on sale. Because as it stands today, they very well may be on sale. So you're going to want to look online to see if I have them on sale. But $80 for this machine and all the stuff that comes with it, and the fact that I can use it on other tools, I think that's a pretty good buy. It does come ready to use. That's a huge check mark in my book, and that comes from me having worked with so many companies that sends me a machine and then goes, oh, by the way, you can't use it when you take it out of the box. Bah, that was a big deterrent for me. As far as affordability goes, yeah, the plates are a little bit expensive, but hey, I can use them on more than one machine. The inks, I can use them more than one place. I can use the paper more than one place. I can use my watercolor paper. I don't have to buy Spellbinder's paper. Spellbinder's cotton paper is a little bit expensive. You get 25 sheets of 8.5 by 11 for $39.99. I love good quality paper, but that's a little bit out of my budget price range. So, I'm just saying that if you decide you want to use everything Spellbinders, this can be a little bit pricey for you. Might even exceed your budget for your craft room. But, hey, play around with it. We can show you lots of ways to save money. Isn't that what these classes are all about? Different ways to use your products everywhere. So when it comes down to affordability, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. And again, that's because I can use everything in so many different places. Multi-purpose, that's my M in the word stamp. And multi-purpose, I'm pretty hip on that too, because as I have said repeatedly over and over, everything that comes with this can be used in a different place. This is a magnet. I do not recommend trying to use it as a positioning tool, so that's probably not in the top of it. But you can use this. You can use paper. As far as being multi-purpose, you can use your alcohol. Oh, that's one. I need to tell you that. So I did one where I stamped it in watercolor inks. Oh, are you hearing me? I stamped this in watercolor inks, and then I colored it in alcohol markers, and then I took and put lunar paste over top of it. Girls, if you don't think that made it a big plus and makes it multi-purpose all at the same time. So with that being said, if I'm going to use my alcohol markers, I can use my water-based dyes. So again, multi-purpose kind of pops up there in the top of the categories for me. I do find that this machine's going to have multi-purpose uses for me. The only drawback that I found is that you are going to need this particular kind of plate. So I did back it off for one point, and I said that multi-purpose is going to give it approximately a 4 out of 5 because you got to have that special plate. That was the only drawback I saw. Then we're going to use performance. So this is the easiest machine I've ever used. I had to learn how to use a die cut machine. Who are we kidding? If you don't put those things on just perfect, especially if you're trying to cut out a particular die, if you don't put those things on just perfect after they've been stamped, you got a big old mess. This is the easiest thing I've ever used. It's on a magnet. Ta-da. Ain't going to go nowhere. Then when I put my plate down, it's automatic. Ta-da. It isn't going to go anywhere. They do give you the tape so you can go ahead and put your card down smoothly, so it ain't going to go nowhere. So all in all, yeah, when it comes to performance, this is a dead great product. One of the things that somebody has said to me as far as the negative goes, they go, what is letterpress? Well, letterpress is an indention. It's not as strong as an embossing folder, especially a 3D embossing folder. But letterpress falls on the sides of elegance. So if you want to make elegant cards, yeah, you want a BetterPress machine like yesterday. The other thing is people go, well, I can't tell the difference between a BetterPress and a regular stamped stamp. Okay, I get that. But at the same time, this is an elegant card. So you would be sending these kind of cards to people who appreciate elegance. The other thing that I can tell you about this is that if you've ever received a wedding invitation and you feel of it and it feels bumpy on the top, it was done with a letterpress. My father was a printer, and oh my God, he loved when somebody ordered something that had to be done on a letterpress because he loved operating that machine. He'd flip over this. So, yes, this is a well performing piece of equipment, but it's got to be something that is up to your taste. You've got to want to have something where you're doing just a very elegant type card for, or you've got to have something that you want that touch of uniqueness in. And those are the two things you've got to decide before you buy your BetterPress machine. So those are the way we go. If I were to decide whether I was going to be ordering this machine, it would be a 4 out of 5. The drawbacks, as I have already said, is the fact that you do have to have plates. They take up a little bit extra storage room. As far as integration goes, or tool integration, it is the absolute best. I find that the affordability, I think it's just like any other product that you get on the market. You know, you're going to have a little bit of cost to go in with it. But you can change that affordability based on what products you use with it. You don't have to use Spellbinder products. Gotta hand it to you though, that cotton paper feels great and it looks great, but I couldn't tell the difference between that and my watercolor paper. Multi-purpose, I do find that it does have several purposes, especially in the fact that I can interchange everything that comes with the machine, and then performance. So all in all, I would give the machine a 4 out of 5. And of course, that's going to have something to do with your taste and your affordability. So that's the information that I wanted you to have about the BetterPress machine. So